Hello and welcome to the last chance qualifier for round one of the South African simGT series at Bathurst. This is the second last chance qualifier after the first one we had last evening, which saw Bastian Spitzner and Dean Rickards, the two fastest sim races around the circuit. The second session will see same drivers try and beat those two guys to secure the final two grid slots in the South African simGT series grid for the race on Monday evening. In the commentary booth, I have with me here James.
Hello.
Kat, are you with us?
I am, most certainly, yes.
So who's your hot pick for the evening's entertainment?
Well, it all depends who's going to make their way into the server. If it's anything like last night, then I would say it's probably going to end up between Mr. Spitzner and Gabriel Ruso.
Bastian Spitzer with the fastest time so far this evening with a 206.514.
Expect that time to come down by about 0.7, 0.8 over the course of the next 15 minutes or so.
Yeah,
one of the very few Audi R8s in the competition. Whereas last year saw a lot of people pick that car for their weapon of choice in the simGT, it seems as if everyone ran to the new Porsche that got released recently. Bastian trying his utmost to get some heat into the tires before his flying lap starts. Heading into the start finish now. He had a good exit. Now let's see if he can make this count. He needs a very good exit onto the next straight, otherwise he's going to hemorrhage lap times. Seems as though he got it. And he had to bail out of that one. You're seeing a lot of these cars coming out of the pits and on their outlap making some mistake, putting some damage on the car. Not ideal. It's a very fine line between running an attacking outlap, keep the heat in your tires, and then setting your car up enough for a flying timed lap.
Yeah, Curtin, I'm back with you. Just had a couple of sound issues there that I had to sort out. But I think we are good to go from now on.
That's good
Don't
to hear.
anticipate any more problems.
Currently driving with Chris Heineke. Chris is going to lose a little bit of straight line speed there after that bad exit. Maybe he can make it up on the exit of this corner. He seems to have made it up a little bit. Not really gaining on his delta.
Bastian Spitzner has also started another flying lap. He'll be looking to better his 206.514.
While the broadcast is stuck on Spitzner, I've got Heineke on my screen. Currently a quarter of a second up, going on 3/10 of a second up on his lap time. Just had a fantastic exit on a corner. He's more than a second up currently on his delta. But if he's going to challenge, he's going to have to shave at least 3 seconds off. He's at now. Coming down the Conrad straight, he's about 2 seconds up currently on his last best lap time, which will put him in the mid-7 range. And a tiny mistake just saw him lose 2 seconds. Still going to gain a little bit on his delta, and maybe stay exactly where he is currently in the standings. Now that Porsche is a real handful. You just look at a curb with that car, it's going to spit you out. Edrin looks like he got a very good exit onto out of the last corner. Including the one down this straight, he's already 0.2 of a second up. Going on to 0.3. And he's nailed that exit as well. Now almost half a second up on his delta. And that time from Bastian Spitzner is absolutely flying. 205.1. That is, I think, the time to beat right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's beaten his time from last night by 0.5 of a second. And he's laid down the benchmark for the rest of the guys to follow.
Whatever that Audi lacks in straight line grunt, it makes up for it more than 10 times over in the mountainy areas of Bathurst.
As you say, he's probably not so quick through the sort of the straights, but across the top of the mountain, he makes up for it.
Gabriel Ruso hasn't really put a lap in yet. Surprising. Hoping he doesn't have many connection issues at the moment. Manages to complete a out lap. The sign of a very good sim racer is being able to get that really quick lap time in very early on in your qualifying session. Bastian Spitzner is going to be one of those guys we're going to have to watch out for in the race on Monday. You can be on it from early. He's going to be a very tough contender to deal with in the race itself.
So far, Bastian joining us from Germany, Leipzig in Germany. His ping is holding stable, so it's great to see. There's a bit of a concern about that, but it seems to be nice and strong and no lagging whatsoever.
Yeah, I can guarantee you there's at least 20 guys on Monday evening that's going to wish for some lag from him.
Yeah, well, as long as it doesn't affect them, that's all.
I'm specifically talking about race ending lag.
I see. I'm with you.
You can't race, Mr. Spitzner.
It might be an advantage to start at the back. No, but I don't foresee any problems.
Of course not.
Of course you're going to say that, Cat. You've got a championship to defend.
Of course, of course. I've set my sights on enjoying this season. Win or lose, I don't care. This is just going to be for enjoyment. So,
Yeah, let me
welcoming
ask
all
you
the
that
fast
question
guys.
halfway through the season. I'm sure you'll change your mind by then.
Yes. Just looking forward to some very, very tight battles with some very quick sim races, of which we've got a few down here at Sim Race South Africa.
Yeah, I think for this season the standard has certainly increased, and we're looking forward to some very close and tight battles throughout the season. A shorter
Absolutely.
season down to just 5 rounds for simGT, but it's a lot more work required to get into a pro split GT round. And it's proving all more important now to qualify through one of the qualifying races, not leave it too late to the last chance qualifiers. Because now there's just 2 grid slots to contend for. The Gabriel has now rejoined the track, or rejoined the survey at least, so we should see some quick lap times from.
He just managed to put a 207 on the board, which is not exactly quick enough if he's going to challenge the time set last night.
Yeah, you
Gonna have
probably
to
find
shave
that
at
is
least
a cycling
1.5
run,
seconds off.
and he'll be building up his pace as he goes.
Of course. And Gabriel just posted a 2:05.9, which now firmly puts him in second position, I think, if I remember correctly, on the timetable. Not just here tonight, but overall.
I will just verify that time against what happened last night and make absolutely sure. Yes, so Dean Rickards, who was second last night, he did a 2:06.2. So yes, Gabriel is now into second.
That now leaves Dean Rickards with a lot of work to do to get into the simGT Room 1 final for Monday. At the start of the session, you would have found a lot of drivers that made a mistake. They would still complete a lap just to post a time. Very soon we're going to start seeing them immediately escape to pits and then restarting a run. Because a 0.2 of a second lost by hitting a wall is literally going to eat your time if you want to complete your lap.
Absolutely, the guys will be looking to maximize their qualifying time. As the timer runs out, we've got 58 minutes left.
Such a tricky thing to do because the car just doesn't handle the same once it comes out of the pits with its little tire blankets on and then losing all of its heat before you get into the first corner. And then once you go around the track and you start your flying lap, you know, it's almost as if it feels like two completely different laps that you were on. It's such a tricky thing to contend with, especially now in this kind of scenario where you've got such a huge extended effective qualifying period that you need to run.
So Dean Rickards has done a 2:07.428. So he is about a good 1.2 seconds of his lap time from last night. So he's got quite a bit of work to do. If he's to regain that second position that he came up with last night. With both Gabriel and Bastian improving from last evening. Gabriel now moves up into second overall in the last chance qualifier. The provision head is Bastian Spitzner and Gabriel Ruso, who have those two final grid slots for Monday evening.
Gabriel coming through to start his flying lap. Let's see what kind of a exit he can get down the straight. Didn't quite get the exit he wanted. Slightly behind his delta. Not much in it. But a very good exit there, and it's up. Very tricky corner that he just went through there. Carry too much speed, you hit the wall. Carry too little and you kiss the inside. Oh! Sad way to end that lap. I'm really hoping they're not tuned into the live stream while they're busy qualifying. One wouldn't want to put the markers on them.
Wouldn't be too surprised. It is quite exciting. It's like driving through radio and while you're on the racing circuit.
The
That's not the
difference
first
is
time I
you
heard about that.
very rarely hear your own name coming through on the radio. Chris Heineke currently half a second up on his lap time. Down the Conrad straight, heavy braking, flicking the car into the corner, keeping it nice and light, taking a little bit too much curb, but is up 1.3 seconds. Really attacked that corner hard. Into the start finish, getting a good exit, up 1.5, and that saw him jump to 5th right now. Still a fair bit off where he's supposed to be for a qualifying spot.
Adrian Govender now on an outlap. Just about to go down the Conrad straight.
I expect Chris Heineke to get down very soon to about 207 flat. Made a couple of big errors up in the mountainy bits. Was more than a second down on his lap time, and then all of a sudden through about 3 or 4 corners he managed to find 0.7 of a second. So if he can duplicate that on a relatively clean lap, he should be under 207 quite soon.
Adrian Govender with a good exit onto Mountain Straight.
This
Beg your
exit's
pardon,
the
that was
one that
actually the
counts.
final corner. He's just crossed the line now.
This is the one that counts, and he's slowly
Yeah,
gaining.
it was okay-ish.
It is
Down
so
Mountain
tricky.
Straight towards Quarry 2 and 2. Maybe looking to get late on the brakes. And a nice clean run through the apex, which he does. Nice smooth run there. Using as much as the curb as possible. Then into the cutting, as they call it, turn 3 and turn 4. Oh, it just
That's
got it wrong there.
exactly what I
And because
talked
it
about
clips the
earlier.
wall. So easy to do that.
Exactly
You
what
just-
I talked about earlier. You don't carry
Yeah,
enough speed through there. You go too close in on that wall and it just sucks you in.
Absolutely. The bump's just unsettling the rear of the McLaren. And it's knocked the front left against the wall. They decide to pit and repair that before going out for another run. Just 49 minutes remaining in the session.
Luckily, we've got Red Bull sponsored pit crew. They get the repairs done in a matter of seconds.
Gambit and now preparing to leave the pits on yet another outlap.
That was the exit of a man really peeved off with himself.
Been really quick on his outlap as well. Wanting to get there done as soon as possible, get onto the next flying lap. Quite a gap between sort of Gabriel Ruso in second, back to Adrian Govender, 2.2 seconds now. Then we have Rickards just 0.004 seconds behind Govender.
And Gabriel
Chris
just went
Heineke,
faster still.
Yeah, so
He wants
So
to make that
Ruso
second position
just-
his own.
0.4 seconds behind Spitzner now.
That is actually extremely good going in this Porsche around here. Because that Porsche is not an easy car to get around this track. It's easily the fastest Porsche I've seen all weekend.
Yes, and
Or
I'm
leading
sure
up
that
to this
time
weekend.
has raised a few eyebrows from the guys that have already qualified for the pro split watching this.
I mean, one of the fastest Porsches I've seen was actually during the last chance qualifier last night with a 2062. And here we're seeing someone getting under the sixes, which is essentially where you want to be if you're looking for a top 10 spot. Watching Gabriel Ruso going down the straight now.
Gambit now getting that corner absolutely perfect now. Not like the last time he got it wrong. Quite a quick lap so far. Let's see what he can make out of this. Now across the top of the mountain.
Keep us updated on that one.
Oh, just got it wrong. Unfortunately, he's clipped the wall. That must be at turn 11 or so.
Ballerino
And he's
also just
abandoned that
went back to the
next lap.
pits. Back to Gabriel out on track. What can he do? Gabriel got a fantastic exit out of that corner. Currently matching his delta. It just went up. Oh my word. Oh, just
Oh,
pushing
he
a
just
little
got
bit
it
too
wrong.
hard.
Yeah. And he's into the kitty letter.
It's so easy to get caught up, you know, once that delta starts screaming at you. It's so easy to get caught up in the hype. Push a little bit too hard, and then the walls just swallow you whole.
And Government has abandoned yet another lap, so battling to string together a lap here at Bathurst. Off he goes again for yet another outlap.
And Werner Jenop, not a slow sim racer in his own right, struggling a little bit with a 210 at the moment in that Ferrari, which, from what I've seen leading up to this weekend, is actually quite commonplace with that Ferrari around here. The track not quite suited to the Ferrari.
With Chase Gunter now, who is almost a second up on his best lap time so far.
I caught him in the TeamSpeak lobby a little bit earlier, and he admitted to using the last chance qualifier to get familiar with the track. Due to not being able to put in sufficient practice before this, and to be up on his lap time already and be pushing for a 206 is actually really good going. Not a very easy track to learn this.
So Chase Gunter going up quicker by 0.3 of a second now, but still 2.5 seconds off the pace.
Oh, and Gabriel got it wrong. Up on his delta, puts the nose firmly into the wall. I think the words coming out of his mouth right now would make the sirens cry.
Now we have Werner Hinop now, who's up 0.4 of a second. Across the top of the mountain we go. Oh, he just got it wrong there. Turn 11, 12 through Skyline and the S's. He will abandon that run, unfortunately for him. Winter battling with a bucket load of oversteer. He gets familiar with the Porsche.
But how's your father? I must say the mod of this track is actually really good. The camera placement is also spot on, considering that every time you see these cars coming down each one of the straights, it brings back memories of the 12-hour liquid moly endurance racing at Bathurst. Seeing these cars clear the inclines, powering down the straights. Beautiful sight.
Chris Haneke now about half a second up on his best time. And they're braking up for the final corner. Should be a good 0.8 seconds fast as he crosses the line and he goes third. So good, better lap there by Chris Haneke, finding it a bit of pace. But still down by 1.5 seconds. But a better run out of the first corner, his next flying lap. He's about a 10th quicker now.
I've been watching very closely an entire lap of Gabriel Ruso now, and including errors made and time gained in other places. If he can string a clean lap together, as fast as he can go, he's going to break the 205 barrier. Which will be a mighty effort for this Porsche.
Bastian Spitzner now is about, a good 10th quicker, although he clips the wall there. Exiting Frog Hollow as they turn 8. Oh, is that a big incident? He's actually, in fact, rolled his Audi. It's the first time I've seen that here at Bathurst.
I've done that a few times.
They're pushing very hard indeed. And he sets off immediately for another run.
Oh, and he catches a bit of... not that it really matters. Catches a bit of a draft behind Chris Haneke. Also a very tricky situation right now because you don't want to spoil the guy in front's qualifying lap, but at the same time you know you need to get past this person, otherwise you're not going to be able to get your flying lap in. Chris Heineke showing us that drifting the Porsche is not the greatest of ideas. Spectacular as it may look.
Interesting enough, Dean Ricketts is battling to find the pace that he had last evening.
That is very unfortunate.
Both of his competitors from last evening have gone quicker, except for him. He's actually gone slower, so perhaps going the wrong way setup-wise.
That's where setup management becomes so crucial. Knowing when to save, when to let go, when to revert back to an older setup. I myself am quite guilty of that, not wanting to populate my server or my setup list with too many setups, and then by mistake saving over a very good one that you now need to try and find your way back to somehow. So if that's the case here, my thoughts do go out to him.
Yeah, of course, there's a big difference between a green track and a well-rubbered-in track as well. And different setups work for different track conditions.
How green
They
would
can
this track
often
be right
be
now?
quite deceiving after a while. And you think you made the car quicker, and
The track right now shouldn't be too green. With a regular 8 to 10 drivers out on track for the last hour or so, there should be a fair amount of rubber out on track.
Gabriel Ruso is even quicker now, 0.2 of a second faster. He heads down the Conrad Straight.
He needs to string a couple of really good corners together here.
He needs to get it right in the braking. Get to run through the chase. He heads towards the final corner, Murray's corner. Looking for. And he hasn't
Marginally
quite
better.
nailed that corner. You know, he's lost that time, unfortunately. Yeah. A much better run now out of turn one, now corner.
Yep, he probably realized he was losing a couple of valuable seconds there, or a couple of valuable thousands. That's what it comes down to now. A couple of thousands of seconds. The grand scheme of thing, not very much, not very far distance-wise, but can be the difference between qualifying second or third. Looks relatively safe right now, Gabriel, with his 205.523. But Chris Heineke, Dean Ricketts and Chase Gunter are still in it. find that magic in their setups from somewhere.
And Hinnock now much faster. Good run through turn 1. Down the mountain straight he goes. Half a second up, not too bad. Interesting, losing time down the straight, so perhaps he's gone for more aero.
Quite a big delay between our broadcast and what we are witnessing inside the server. About 3.5 minute delay from what I can see.
Yeah, also you could also speed it up by clicking on live. It sort of brings it to where closer to what's actually happening.
Not helping me.
Not.
No. Still stuck at 28 minutes on the live feed. I'm just going to comment on what I can see live, and hopefully the camera will follow suit.
So you need to comment on what you see on your actual in-game.
Exactly.
And it will come through together with the visuals to the live stream and in sync, as far as I understand it.
It's just useful being able to see the live stream and then knowing where the camera should be and then following that person. But right now, I don't think it's really going to make that much of a difference. We've got Bastian Spitzner leading the rest of the field. Gabriel Ruso basically nipping at his heels. A bit of a big gap between Gabriel and Chris and the rest of the field. Almost 2 seconds splitting second and fourth position. Oh, and Gabriel absolutely destroying that Porsche in the wall.
On the ragged edge. Spitzner now up 2/10.
Oh my goodness,
He
can we
looks
see a
to build that.
204 here?
You might just see a late 204 here. He's 0.4 up now. Here we go. Down the back straight we go with Spitzner. They're looking for a good run through the chase.
Late on the brakes.
Absolutely, you can see how the
Getting it in
car
nice and
diving
tight.
under braking.
He's up 0.3. He needs to get a good run out of this one.
Under braking we go for the final corner. Yeah, it's
And
pretty
that's
better his
sub
time. Here we go.
205.
2049. Wow.
That's a new benchmark. And Gabriel must be telling himself right now, I want what that dude had for lunch. That's a crazy lap time. I remember starting
Spitzner
out
sends
around
out
this
a
track.
big statement to the rest of the field and to the guys who have already qualified for the pro split.
I remember starting out on this track about 2 or 3 weeks ago, just for some giggles, and thinking that a 209 might be a good time. How wrong was I? All the cars standing in the pits now thinking, what on earth am I going to have to do to get down to that 204? Gabriel just went marginally faster, the 205.4. Cementing his position in second place.
Interesting to see Bastian Spitzner always doing one lap runs and bringing the car to a complete stop after his first flying lap. Obviously, clearly running on fumes, and has found a way to heat up the soft tires as adequately as possible throughout his fast run. Not bothering with the second or third flying lap.
Definitely a sign of someone that knows what they're doing. So wherever he came from, they made him well.
Yeah, no, and coming third in a number of the sort of highly competitive German leagues. Clearly, it's been shown here tonight. As Heno believes the pits, he says in chat we're about to see a miracle on track. Let's see what he comes up with.
Dean Ricketts managed to get that time down to 2:06.6, but still a long way off. Marginally slower than his time of last night, but so far off the second place right now. He's going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat here.
Mark Henry just saying in chat, if he pulls that time off on Monday evening, he's got a good shot of having pole position. And I tend to agree with him. We'll see how the practice goes this weekend and how the guys prepare for the big race on Monday evening.
It's hard to argue against that.
We have to see what the likes of Mr. Garasino have to say about that. And all the rest of the quick men.
I think there's about 6 or 7 guys that's all got a shot at pole. Jadwat, Lance Garasino, Bongi Mabida, Bastian Spitzner. And seeing as qualifying is not all that long, if Gabriel can get a very good qualifying lap in early, even himself, he's got a shot at qualifying right up there. Ultimately, you're not going to have an hour and a half for qualification on Monday evening. You're only going to have, what, 15 minutes?
Yeah, you've got 15 minutes. That's it.
And if you're going to be doing what Mr. Bastian Spitzner did here, you're only going to have time for about 3 timed laps before your time runs out. So you need to be on it from early. That Ferrari does look epic. It's just a pity it's so tail happy around the mountain section. No one currently on a timed lap at all.
We have just 10 minutes remaining in the session. Can anyone take it to Mr. Ruso in second? Not looking likely at this point, but who knows? Somebody could put together a lap.
Every now and again you come across a track that tends to bring you back to basics with regards to sim racing. If you want to go really fast around here, you need to remember that age-old piece of advice: slow in, fast out. The length of the straights will see you gain your time back. Whatever you think you lost going into a corner, you'll gain it all back, maybe even double. When it comes to braking in the mountain section, rather do it early and get a good run out of a corner than do it late and run the risk of going sideways and losing a second at a time. And that's the risk, because right now with 10 minutes to go, it's very easy to forget that kind of, I can't say style, it's very easy to forget that principle. Because you know, this is last chance saloon. If you don't get it now, you're not racing in room 1. And your mind keeps telling you to take it easy, but your heart is not listening. Pushing way too hard, you're pushing much harder than what you're supposed to in order to chase down that 1.2 or 1.3 seconds that you need. And you just lose more time than what you think you can gain. Dean Ricketts currently up 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, he's the man to watch right now. 0.3 now.
Didn't quite get the run out of those 2 or 3 corners that he needed.
And suddenly he's up by 0.3. So good run. Okay, now he's losing time again. But still quicker.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Slow in, fast out. Lost all his gains.
Perhaps
pushing too
overdriving the
hard.
car. Pushing, yeah, as you said, pushing too hard.
Losing all of your gains. You need to basically set up your car. Going into a straight, you need to set up your car for the gains you can get down a straight. If that means taking the corner right before just a slight tad slower, then that is what you're supposed to be doing. He gained 0.3 at least 3 times on that lap. If that doesn't tell you that he's about a second slower than what he can be, nothing will. Or he's about a second slower than what his fastest time can be, which will put him right up there with Gabriel. If he can just get a good run, calm. But with 6 minutes to go, will his head win over his heart? Oh, space block. Considering how long this qualifying session has been, if you knew the track well, you would have been able to put together roughly 30 to 40 timed laps. Considering that there's some guys in here that only managed to get 11 timed laps, it just shows you how difficult it is to be on it right from the start.
And it's quite a long lap as well, over 2 minutes. There's definitely a factor.
Slightly shorter than Spa. Slightly longer than Nürburgring. But it's a big lap. And I would venture a guess by saying that probably the track where you need to concentrate the hardest, with your only respite being the straights. Time for 2 timed laps. Can he do it? .2 of a second down currently. At what point do you realize you shouldn't be pushing too hard and rather conserve the car for one last push? Half a second down now. No. Keep it cool. Keep it cool. Don't have time for one more. Down the Conrad straight, about a second behind his personal best. Right, at least. Get a nice early break, good exit. Oh, and he stuffs it going down that straight. And that's the end of it. What a pity. Still had time for that lap. And now it's over. Only 2 cars currently out on track. Gabriel and Chris.
Yeah, just 1 minute remaining in the session.
Gabriel's got time for one more timed lap.
Anneke now hustling towards the finishing line, trying to get another lap in if he can. He's 1.1 seconds down on his personal best so far.
Gabriel driving around the track with a couple of dents on the car. Means he's probably driving on a hope and a prayer right now. Nope, and he's given up the ghost.
Chris Honeycutt has clipped the tyre wall, exiting the last corner.
And that is it.
And that concludes the